Still in community engagement a little bit more. We touched earlier this morning about councils raising concerns about the lack of time they have to respond to EISs and other such things. It was suggested by the Minister you might have some more to add on that.
Yes, thank you, Mr Barrett. So with regard to, I guess, community consultation overall for state significant developments, and this is whether it's renewable energy projects or all types of state significant developments, there is a guideline that the department has. So that's undertaking engagement guidelines, and basically the requirements within those guidelines are that there is ongoing consultation that happens with the community, and it happens early. That's a very important aspect of the guidelines and engagement. I think you were asking a little bit earlier today around, I guess, the verification that the department does. So when we receive an environmental impact statement ready for exhibition, we do look at the consultation that's been undertaken and, I guess, verify that that's meeting those standards and that guideline. As you were asking earlier today, there is a minimum period of 28 days for a state significant development EIS to go on exhibition. There are occasions where extensions are given to those exhibition periods, and it depends a little bit on, I guess, the complexity of the development, how much interest there is in the development. But what I would also add is that whilst there is a formal process for people making submissions during that period, there is lots of engagement that's expected early on in the process, and even post environmental impact statement being on exhibition, there is an expectation that there's ongoing community engagement. And in fact, the department often engages with directly affected neighbours. We often go out, particularly for renewable energy projects, and visit those neighbours and have conversations with them. So it's part of an ongoing consultation. We engage with councils right through the process.
On that 28 days that you said often gets extended, how often do we talk? Sorry, and if I can throw into that question, who determines let's extend this one but cut this one off at 28 days?
Yeah, so look, it's the department's decision at the end of the day. I wouldn't say it's often extended. I can take it on notice in terms of how many times we've extended in the last 12 months, or for renewable energy projects, happy to come back with some more information there. But again, yes, it's largely on the basis of the complexity of the development and how how much interest there is in that development.
Because we're hearing, as I mentioned earlier, councils are having to put on extra staff purely to deal with this process and meet those timeframes. Are they told before the cut-off date that it's going to be extended, or is it something halfway through they get a note to say, actually, we're going to kick this out, or is it?
So again, working with councils, we do try and engage really closely with councils right through the process. I was about 4 weeks ago out visiting Mid-Western Council, Dubbo Council and Warrumbungle. We're obviously keen to get feedback from those councils as part of their experience, but I guess our view is that we are actually trying to give councils the best opportunity to respond both during the exhibition period and often we'll actually, even if we don't formally extend the exhibition period, we'll allow councils to submit something late. But we do look to engage with councils right through the process.
Can I add something there as well, that recently some of the regional mayors and general managers has raised with me that they often spend a lot of time explaining to community what the difference between an SSD is, an SSI and a DA. Fair enough, right? It's something that, many people can struggle with. We have committed in the department to prepare some material that they can distribute, some videos or whatever seems most appropriate. I thought that was a very legitimate thing for them to raise. I'd rather councils were spending their time looking at the EIS, not explaining to the community what an SSD is. That's our job. So we'll be preparing that material over the next couple of months to assist the council. So if they do raise things, and I'm happy for you to direct anything to me or the department, we will respond to it. We have very strong and close relationships with local government, and we're always happy to help where we're able to.
Okay. Can someone tell me what percentage of renewable projects in New South Wales are within designated res and which ones are out?
Look, Mr Barrett, I don't have that number to hand, but perhaps, again, we can come back with an answer to that later on in the
sure.
session today.
Thank you. It was also implied that someone could help me again with, we were talking about the requirement not to have a significant adverse impact on scenic quality or landscape character. What is the determination of whether a project does or does not have a significant adverse impact?
Yes, so Mr. Barrett, we've prepared guidelines, which I think you might be aware of,
Yep.
around assessing visual impacts. As part of, I guess, the assessment of visual impacts, you referred a little bit earlier today to the scenic values around some of the major regional towns, and Orange being one of those, where there's a requirement, I think it's a 5 kilometre radius around those towns to take into account potential urban expansion and scenic values. So that's factored into the visual impact assessment that's undertaken, but it is quite a quantitative assessment that we've I guess designed within our visual impact assessment guidelines. It is something that we consulted with widely with both the community and industry before we finalise those guidelines, and I think it has made a difference in terms of understanding what the potential impacts are of those visual impacts.